واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ثم أما بعد. Welcome back in the Hajj and Umrah reading session. In this lesson, we will go through a different ruling of Hajj and Umrah. And just to remind you, we mentioned last time that we have three types of Hajj. The first one is Tamattu. The second one is Qiran. And the third one is Ifrad. Who still remember from last time? Let's start first by Tamattu and Qiran. In this type of Hajj, the Umrah is combined with Hajj. But in case of Tamattu, which means enjoying, the Umrah will be done first, and then you break your ihram, and then you wait until the 8th of the Hijjah, and then you go to Mina and start the Hajj. While the Qiran, you combine Hajj and Umrah in one journey as well, but without breaking the ihram. And we explained that the ihram is a status of the person who entered or who want to do Umrah or Hajj. And this one, or this status, there is a places you need to start your ihram and start your intention to have Hajj or Umrah before you exceed these places. And there are five places. The people can do the ihram from it. The first one, if you are coming from the north, means north of Africa and Egypt and Jordan and Sham and Syria, Lebanon, all that, you need to start your ihram from a place called Al-Juhfa or Babel now. And then if you coming from the east of Saudi Arabia, a place called Najd and Riyadh now, and the places after it, you need to start your ihram from a place called the Qarn al-Manazil. It's called Qarn al-Manazil. And then if you are traveling from the south, like coming from Australia, you will pass through Yemen in the south. In this case, you need to start your ihram from Yalamlam, a place called Yalamlam. And then, if you are coming from the Iraq side, and Siberia, and Russia, and China, all that, you need to start your ihram before you exceed that area. So there are five places you need to start your ihram before you exceed. And if you do not engage in ihram status and you exceed this point, in this case you need to compensate that. And to compensate that, you have options. Who remembers the options? You have either to fast 3 days in Mecca, or to feed 6 people in Mecca. Each person is half sa', and the sa' is a volumetric measurement of the grains and seeds. And the sa' is how many mud? 4, yes. We have 4. If you have 4 mud, it'd be 1 sa'. And the mud is a handful amount of the grain or of the seed. So if you fill your hand, 2 hands, normal person, if you fill your hand 4 times, this will be 1 sa'. So each one is called the mud. So this is what's called, you need to compensate either by fasting 3 days or by feeding 6 people, poor people in Mecca, each one half sa, or more, which is the best, to get more reward, or to sacrifice an animal like a goat, like a sheep, and we call this nusuk or dam. We need to do that. So this is a place of ihram. Tonight, inshallah, I will cover more likely Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, Hajj and Umrah, according to narrations in Bukhari and Muslim. I try to summarize it in a very simple word to understand what happened in the Hajj and Umrah of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. First, if you ask a question, how many times Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did Hajj? How many times? 3? What else? Yeah. 6? What else? Hajj. Only once. It's only once. And it was in Hajj al-Wada', the following Hajj. And how many Umrah, by the way, he did? How many Umrah? A lot. The majority of scholars mention it's 4, except the Imam Malik said it's 3, but it's 4. Most of the narration mention it's 4. The first one in Hudaybiyah agreement. He was planning to do Umrah in 6 Hijri, and he went with the Sahaba because he saw a dream, a ru'ya, that he will enter the Masjid al-Haram wearing ihram. And Ru'ya al-Anbiya haq means that the dream of the Prophet is the truth. It's the revelation from Allah Azza wa Jalla. So he prepared himself to go to Mecca. He was in Medina. He prepared himself to go to the Medina and wear the ihram and bring the hajj or the animal to show to the Meccan people that he is not coming for fighting. He wears the ihram, having the animal for sacrifice, so he just came for Umrah. Unfortunately, they stopped him. After negotiation with them, they agreed that he will leave this year without Umrah and come the following year, which in year 7 or 7 Hijri. So the first one was in year 6 or in 6 Hijri. It did not complete it, and he break his ihram. And the second one is the following year, year 7. And then the third one after battle, a very famous battle called Hunayn. وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْنٍ إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ فَلَمْ تُغْنِ عَنْكُمْ مِنَ اللَّهِ. So this battle happened in 8 Hijrah. And the Sahaba was about 10,000 people. It's a very large number of Sahaba, and never happened before. And then some of the Sahaba said, we are not going to be defeated from a little amount. They are now depend on their number, not on Allah's power. And Allah addressed that in Surah Al-Anfal and give them a lesson. They start at the first very hard for them to defeat these people from Hawazan tribes, but at the end Allah support them and they defeat them. And after this battle, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ went from Al-Ja'rana near this place, and he made the third Umrah. So when was the fourth one? The fourth one was combined with Hajj al-Wada', with the following Hajj in 10 Hijrah. So again, 6 Hijri, the Hudaybiyah Umrah, it didn't complete it. He returned back. The second one, the following year was compensation for the one he didn't do it. after agreement with the Kuffar in Quraysh. And the third one, after which battle? Hunayn in Ja'rana. And the last one was combining with the Umrah Hajj al-Wada' in Hijrah, in 10 Hijrah. So as you can see that Prophet Muhammad sallam did so far 4 Umrah and only 1 Hajj. Jabir ibn Abdullah narrated in Sahih Muslim a hadith describing all the steps of the Hajj and Umrah that Prophet Muhammad sallam. Also, Abdullah ibn Abbas and Abdullah ibn Umar narrate hadiths that describe the Hajj and Umrah of Prophet Muhammad in 10 Hijrah. We try to summarize all these narrations to give you a full picture of what he did. So the best thing that you can do is to follow his sunnah in doing Hajj and Umrah and try to copy him as much as you can. So first, Prophet Muhammad spent 9 years in Medina without doing Hajj. 9 years. Since he migrated to Medina, he spent 9 years without Hajj. He did Umrah, yes, but he didn't do Hajj. And then, in the 10th of Hijrah, he sent his cousin Ali ibn Abi Talib to call the people to come to attend with him the Hajj. And imagine a lot of people came with him. 10 Hijrah means most of the Arab tribes entered Islam. It was an amazing situation when, as Jabir ibn Abdullah described, he said, if you look around your right hand side, a lot of people, left hand side, a lot of people, in front, a lot of people, in the back, a lot of people, because Sahaba and the people who entered Islam recently want to join this Hajj to know how the Hajj performed. So Jabir ibn Abdullah mentioned that Prophet Muhammad spent 9 years without Hajj, and then in the 10th year he left and called the people to go to the Hajj. So a lot of people reached the Medina, and then Prophet Muhammad prepared himself for Hajj. His wives went with him, especially Sayyidah Aisha, and she mentioned in the hadith that she used to oil the hair of Prophet Muhammad and used to add a perfume so you can see the glitter of the perfume coming from the hair. This before entering the ihram, because we explained before that once you have ihram, you cannot add any perfume. So he prepared himself and his wife Aisha pregnant him, and he wear the ihram in Dhul Hulayfa. Dhul Hulayfa, there is a masjid there called Masjid al-Shadar, the tree masjid. This is on the way between Mecca and Medina. So Prophet once he reached this step or this spot, he entered the space of ihram, and before he do that, as Sayyidah Aisha mentioned, she put a perfume on his head. And then he prayed on this masjid, and he was riding his camel. Who knows the name of the Prophet Muhammad camels? Female camel. Al-Qaswa. And then Prophet Muhammad during this journey, Sayyidah Asma bint Umays, the wife of Abu Bakr, during this time while they just started the ihram, she born a boy, Muhammad ibn Abi Bakr, so the son of Abu Bakr. And now, as we know before, we explained that in order to do tawaf, you need to have wudu go and you need to have a clean, do not have any major impurity or minor impurity. And he said to her, just take ghusl and add some white bags on the private place to avoid any blood comes, and then come with us. And then Prophet ﷺ ride his female camel al-Qaswa, and he start talbiyah, labbayk Allahumma labbayk. Once he was in Dhul Hulayfa, labbayk Allahumma labbayk, labbayk la sharika laka labbayk, inna al-hamda wal-ni'mata laka wal-mulk la sharika lak, labbayk Allahumma hajjatan wa umrah. He said, Oh Allah, here I am for Hajj and Umrah in one journey. And his is not the intention, by the way. Maybe someone said, we learned it before, that when you do any ibadah or any worship, no need to pronounce the intention. So don't need to say, I have intention to pray. No need to say, I have intention to fast. So what Prophet Muhammad ﷺ here said, here I am for Hajj and Umrah. Labbayk Allahumma Hajj Umrah. This is not intention. This is like a dua, like a dhikr, like talbiyah. So this is not the intention here. And then he bring with him the hajj, bring with him the animals that he will sacrifice. Imagine how many camels he bring. 100. He bring 100, or you only need one. For your hajj only need one, but he bring 100 to cover his ummah as well, the people he is attending with him as well. So then Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, after he started talbiyah, he prayed in Masjid, the tree Masjid, and then traveled toward Mecca, from Medina to Mecca. And before he entered Mecca, he take ghusl, shower, the sunnah. Before you enter Mecca, one of the sunnah, if you can, to have shower, it's recommended. And then he entered the Al-Masjid Al-Haram. Let us see this slide. This is the Kaaba, as you can see in the projector. He entered the Masjid Al-Haram and the Kaaba, and he wearing the ihram, and he start from, as you can see, this is the Hajar al-Aswad. This is the place that you need to start the Hajj or the Tawaf. He starts by making himself, or make the Hajar al-Aswad on his left hand side. And then he Stalam al-Hajar, means he touched the Hajar. And also he will, because there is a crowd, he has like a stick, and this stick he touches the stick with the Hajar and kiss the stick. So from Sunnah, if you are able to touch and kiss the Hajar al-Aswad, you can. But if there is a crowd and not easy for you, just point it to the Hajar al-Aswad. So then he moved the first 3 shops. If you do Umrah, you need to do with a hairy walk, Raml. But if you are just doing Hajj, no need to run. This is only for Umrah. And then you move around the Kaaba and be careful when you reach the place called Hijr Ismail. And Hijr Ismail is a part, is one of the places of the Kaaba, one of the part of the Kaaba. And we explained last time that on the time of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, before he became a prophet, the kuffar of Quraysh renovate the Kaaba, and they put a condition, so no one spent haram money or unlawful money in renovation of the Kaaba. And after they reached certain stage, the money ran out from them. So they just leave this area. This from Kaaba supposed to extend outside, but because there is no money, they leave it like that. So it is very important to do not go inside this hijr, otherwise the hijr or the tawaf will be invalid. So Prophet Muhammad do 3 rumbling with a hairy walk, and then the 4 normal. After he finished this 4 and 3 means 7, he went to Maqam Ibrahim, this golden frame. And we explained Maqam Ibrahim, there is a rock used to stand on it, Prophet Ibrahim, to reach the top of the Kaaba, and it marked his foot on this rock. And then Prophet Muhammad went to Maqam Ibrahim and he recited وَاتَّخِذُوا مِن مَّقَامِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ مُصَلًّى, and pray behind the Maqam of Ibrahim. So the rock that have the mark of the foot of Ibrahim. And then he made the Maqam in between him and the Kaaba. And he prayed 2 rak'ah. Recited the first rak'ah, قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ. And the second rak'ah, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. This was the reason. Another reason, he recited both قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ in the 2 rak'ah. So he recited قُلْ يَا أَيُّهَا الْكَافِرُونَ twice in the 2 rak'ah. One in the first and one in the second. And then he returned back to the Hajar al-Aswad and touched it. And then went to As-Safa mountain, the next step. By the way, just let you know, Prophet Muhammad, his types of Hajj was Qiran, means combining Hajj and Umrah without breaking Ihram in one journey. And he said, because I bring with me the animal, the Hajj, otherwise I was doing tamattu. I will break my Umrah and wait, then make the Hajj later. So this is the Sunnah of the Prophet that he wanted to do it in the field, but he can't. So the scholars have 2 opinions about what is the best type of Hajj. Qiran means combine Hajj and Umrah in one journey without breaking the Ihram, or Tamattu means combine Hajj and Umrah in one journey but you break Ihram in between, or Ifrad, do only Hajj. The minority of the scholars said the Qiran, because Prophet Muhammad did that. But the majority said no, it's Tamattu. Because the reason that he made his Hajj as a Qiran, that he brings the Hajj with him, brings the animal. So most of us when our travel, it's very hard to bring from Australia the animal with you in the airplane. Can you do that? No. So in this case, the best type of Hajj is Tamattu, means that you finish Umrah, break your Ihram, wear your normal clothes, and wait until the 8th of the Hijjah, and then start the Hajj. This is the best type of Hajj, and is the most recommended by Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. However, Umar ibn Khattab didn't accept the Tamattu, and he said Qiran is the best. It's different opinion, but the majority, as we mentioned, is to do Qiran. So what happened here? Prophet Muhammad sallam was doing Qiran. So he went to do the Tawaf. The first one, they call this Tawaf al-Qudum. Qudum because he just came to arrival Tawaf. When you arrive to Mecca, you need to have Tawaf. Either if you're doing Umrah, this will be Tawaf of Umrah. Or if you're doing Hajj, like here Qiran, it will be Tawaf al-Qudum, arrival Tawaf. And then after he made his Tawaf, as we said, he prayed behind the Maqam Ibrahim to Rak'ah, reciting the Surah. How many times? 2. One in the first and one in the second. And then, one of the Sunnah also to drink another hadith mentioned that he drink from Zamzam water until he will be fully saturated from water, حتى يتضلع, until the water is reached his ribs, all the ribs of the chest. Means that he will drink water as much as he can. Then he went to the Safa. He left the door and go to the Safa mountain. And all of you know the story of the Safa and mountain and Marwa. When Prophet Ibrahim left his boy, the young boy Ismail, with his wife Hajar in the desert, and she started to search for water between these two mountains. All of you know the story. And he went to Safa mountain and said and recite Inna Safa wal Marwa min sha'a'irillah. So indeed the Safa and Marwa, one of the procedure or one of the ritual step of Allah's worship. So and then he said, Abda bima bada Allah bi. I will start from what Allah started. Allah said in the Quran, Safa first, and then Marwa. So Prophet starts from Safa, walking through the Marwa. This will be one round. As you can see in the slides, it's now under the shade, air conditioned, everything good. No, it's not a mountain now. It's covered with everything. So you walk from Safa to Marwa, this one shot. And as you can see, there's a green line. This green line, when you reach this line, you need to fasten, make fast. But for sisters, walk normal, just for brothers. And then from Marwa to Safa, the second one. Then back again. So this means that he will end with Marwa. So he starts with Safa and end with Marwa. This will be 7 shots. And one of the dua he recited on the Safa, لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد وهو على كل شيء قدير لا إله إلا الله وحده أنجز وعده ونصر عبده وهزم الأحزاب وحده. This is dua in, or you can do any dua. Any dua in your heart, you can do it by your language. No problem. And then, after he finished this tawaf and sa'i, the umrah is completed now. The umrah is completed. So he have now to, if you are in a tamattu', you need to break your ihram and wear your normal clothes and cut your hair, and that's it. But because he is in a qiran, joined Hajj and Umrah without breaking the ihram, he didn't do that. He didn't break his ihram. And the Sahaba with him was so keen to follow him. But some of the Sahaba did not bring the animal with them. So they cannot do qiran. They need to break the ihram and wait until the 8th of the Hijjah. So some of the Sahaba do that. And Prophet ﷺ kept on his ihram until the 8th of the Hijjah. And then on the 8th of the Hijjah, he's still having ihram. So if the person on tamattu', he breaks his ihram, but on 8th of Hijjah, he enter again the state of ihram. But should he go back to the 5 places that's mentioned? We said there are 5 places of mawaqit you need to start ihram before you exceed it. You are now in Mecca. No. You need to start from the place that you are, from your hotel, from Mecca. So then you start your ihram on the 8th of the Hijjah, and the 8th of the Hijjah is called watering day, Yawm al-Tarwiyah. Yawm Tarwiyah, the day of watering, to getting ready for Arafah. Because in the past, they used to prepare the water for the Hujjaj on this day, because the next day, which is the 9th, will be a very busy day, Arafah. And then he went to a place called Mina. So we have Mecca, and then Mina, and then Muzdalifah, and then Arafah. Again, Mecca, then Mina, then Muzdalifah, then Arafah. Remember these 4 places: Mecca, Mina, Muzdalifah, and Arafah. Mecca, Kaaba there. You do the tawaf and sa'i. Mina, you spend most of the days of the Eid and the after Eid, Ayyam al-Tashriq, there, and you stone the rocks, or stone the stones. Muzdalifah, it's in a way between Arafah and Mina. You spend the night of Eid there, and in the morning you go back to Mina, and Arafah after that. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, on the 8th of the Hijjah, went to Mina. And the other Sahaba who already break the Ihram, they start the Hajj from the 8th. So normally if you travel to Hajj, you will go by Tamattu'. Tamattu' means you combine Hajj and Umrah, and you break in between. So you spend the Umrah, and then you break your Ihram, and on the 8th you wear again the Ihram and start the Hajj. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ went to Mina and prayed there Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha. Shorten. Dhuhr 2 rak'ah, but not combined with Asr. Maghrib 2 rak'ah, not combined, Asr 2 rak'ah, but not combined with Dhuhr, and Maghrib 3 rak'ah, and Isha 2 rak'ah. And the next day, which is the 9th of the Hijjah, which is Arafah day, he prayed Fajr. And then he waited for a while until the sun rose. And then he commanded the Sahaba to build a tent in a Namirah. Namirah is just before Arafah. And then he left Mina toward Arafah. In Jahiliyyah, in Ibn's period, because the Hajj was happening before, the Kuffar and the Mushrikeen used to do Hajj as well, but they do it for their idols. They put around 360 something idols around the Kaaba and do the Hajj for them, and they have some similarity, because this is actually the same ibadah or the same sha'air like Ibrahim alayhi salam, but after that it has been deviated from the correct and add the shirk rate. So Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, when he left Mina toward Arafah, the Sahaba think that he will stop in a place called Al-Mash'ar Al-Haram. Al-Mash'ar Al-Haram, the another name is Muzdalifah. Because Quraysh in the early time used to do that. But Prophet Muhammad teaches them lesson. You need to have a difference between you and the others. So he didn't stay in the Mash'ar Haram, he exceeded. And then he entered Namira, or before Arafah, there is a place called Namira. And he found the tent, the big tent built for him. And he stayed there until the noon time, Dhuhr time. And then he asked him to bring his female camel. What's the name of his female camel? Al-Qaswa, yes. And he ride it toward Batn al-Wadi, means the Wadi Arana. This is a valley there in Arafat. And he gives khutbah, a very important khutbah in this day. Imagine about 10,000 Sahabi there, and he put for them a dot point for what they need to do after him. He said, your blood, your wealth is unlawful to consume it. So it is unlawful to consume the blood and the wealth of each other. Like it is unlawful this day. So on this day, which Arafah, it's haram to steal, haram to kill, haram to fight, because this Ashhur al-Hurum. In this month, which is Dhul Hijjah, one of the sacred months, in this country is Mecca. So as you can see, Yawm Arafah is one of the days that haram to fight, haram to kill. This month, Yawm or month Dhul Hijjah, one of the sacred months, this town, this country, Mecca. And he said, everything from the issues or from the affairs of the Jahiliyyah, the ignorance is under my foot. I removed. All the bloods before the Jahiliyyah is rejected. So it means that if someone killed someone in ignorance, it's finished. No compensation for him because it's on Jahiliyyah. And also, all the riba of Jahiliyyah is invalid, it is cancelled, no more riba. And the first riba, or the first kind of riba, the riba that used to done by his uncle Abbas ibn Abdul Muttalib. All types of riba, either nasi'ah or fadl, means there are two types of riba. The nasi'ah means that you extend the period for a person, but you increase the money. So if someone asks you, give me a loan for 1 year, 1,000, and you are not able to pay 1,000, he said, you pay after 1 year 1,200. This is you increase the money because you increase the length of payment. This is riba. And the second type of riba is riba al-fadl. Fadl means preferences or extra. There are 6 types should be replaced or substitute at the same time and the same amount. First, al-dhahab, the gold. Second, the silver, al-fidda. Then, al-qamh or al-bur, the wheat, and barley. And barley is sha'ir, and date, tamr, and milk is 4. These 6 types, or any types that have the same classification or the same kind like them, like for example, what is the equivalent of silver or gold in our time now? Money, yes. So the same money. So it is not allowed to have to replace or to give $1,000 with 100 or $1,200. You need to be equal. I need to be the same hand. So he said that all this type of riba is invalid now. And he then said, fear Allah, taqullah, fi nisa, in women. He gave advice for the Sahaba to take care of women. Because women, either your wife, your mother, your sister, your daughter, you need to be careful with them. And the very comprehensive khutbah in this khutbah al-wada', like a farewell khutbah. And then he asked the Sahaba, and he mentioned to them, I left between you something, if you hold it, you will never misguide it. Kitabullah, the book of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And and he mentioned to them, when you ask him, if Allah asked you about myself, what you will say? The Sahaba said, we be witness that you inform it and you give us the message and complete it and you advise us. And then Prophet Muhammad put his finger towards the sky and said, Allahumma ashhad, oh Allah, be witness. Allahumma ashhad, oh Allah, be witness. Allahumma ashhad, oh Allah, be witness. So this that Allah Azza wa Jalla be witness that he complete his mission correctly. Then after he finished his khutbah, he still not entered Arafah. He was in Namira. And then he prayed Dhuhr 2 rak'ah, and Asr 2 rak'ah without any sunnah in between. And then he faced his naqa, his female camel, toward the rocks. There is a rock there in the mountain, and he faced the Qibla, and he stayed there until the sun set. And once the sun has been set and the yellowish tinge is left, he ride on the camel, and Usama ibn Zayd was riding behind him. So this was where in Arafah. Just to summarize what happened. On the 8th of the Hijjah, Prophet Muhammad went to Mina. He prayed Dhuhr 2 rak'ah, Asr 2 rak'ah, Maghrib 3 rak'ah, Isha 2 rak'ah, and sleep there. In the morning, which is the 9th, which is the Arafah day, he prayed Fajr. And then he asked Sahaba to establish for him a qubba or a tent in a namira before Arafah. And he ride his camel toward Arafah. And the Sahaba thought that he would stop in a place called Al-Mash'ar al-Haram, Muzdalifah, because the Mushrikeen used to do that before, but he didn't, he exceeded. And then once he entered his tent in Namira, he did the khutbah, a comprehensive khutbah, advised the Sahaba about the future. And then he prayed Asr 2 rak'ah, Dhuhr 2 rak'ah, and after it immediately, without any sunnah in between, prayed Dhuhr, Asr 2 rak'ah. And then he faced the rocks and the mountain in Arafat, and stayed in Arafat until the sun set, and he waited until the yellowish color of the sky finished, and the sun disappeared. And then he moved from Arafah now back to Mina. But he need to stay, or he stayed in Muzdalifah the night. So from Arafah back into Mina, you need to spend the night on the Muzdalifah. And Usama ibn Zayd was riding behind him from Arafah to Muzdalifah on his camel, his qaswa. And then in Muzdalifah, upon arrival, he prayed Maghrib 3 rak'ah and Isha 2 rak'ah combined with one adhan and 2 iqamah. So he did adhan on Maghrib time. And then he prayed Maghrib 3 rak'ah. And then immediately prayed Isha 2 rak'ah, but he did iqamah from Maghrib, separate from iqamah from Isha. So he did one adhan, but 2 iqamah. And then he spent the night there, and there is no narration mentioned that he prayed night prayer on this night. He get rest because the next day is a very busy day, the Eid day. So this was in Muzdalifah. So again, we mentioned we have Mecca, Mina, then Muzdalifah, then Arafah. So he went from, after he do the tawaf and sa'i, he went to Mina on the 8th. And then from Mina to, on the morning of the 9th of the Hijjah, he went to Arafah. Spent the day there until the sunset, and returned back, but he spent the night where in Muzdalifah. And you can collect from Muzdalifah the stones. You can bring the stones for you for the next day. And then he spends the night in Muzdalifah, and on the 10th of Dhul Hijjah, the Eid day, the Yawm al-Nahri. So we have first the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, Yawm al-Tarwiyah, the watering day. The 9th of Dhul Hijjah, Arafah day. The 10th, Eid day or Yawm al-Nahri, the slaughter day. And he wake up in the morning and he prayed the Fajr on the first time or on the early time of Fajr. So Fajr has two times, if you want to know the Sunnah to Nabi Sallallahu. He used to pray Fajr either in a ghalas or in isfar time. What is the meaning of ghalas and isfar? Ghalas means you just to start praying when you confirm the true Fajr and you still, there is a darkness in the sky. It's called ghalas. However, there is a hadith mentioned that praying Fajr or asfiru bil-fajri فَإِنَّهُ أَعْظَمُ أَجْرًا means pray Fajr while there are light in the sky, it will be more reward. So one of the sunnah of the Prophet is to pray Fajr and you can see the light in the sky. This is one of the sunnah. Some people ignore it and left it. And if you do that, they think you do something wrong. No, both are correct. You can pray Fajr just on the beginning of the Fajr or when the daylight starts or there is a light start. So he prayed Fajr on this time because the busy day early on the time. Like after that answer.
أشهد أن
So as we mentioned, on the 9th of the Hijjah, Yawm al-Tarwiyah, the watering day, Prophet Muhammad went to Mina, prayed Dhuhr 2 rak'ah, Asr 2 rak'ah, Maghrib 3 rak'ah, Isha 2 rak'ah, and slept there. And the morning, which is the 9th, Yawm al-Arafah, he prayed the Fajr and left early toward the Arafah. And he asked the Sahaba to establish for him a qubba, like a tent, a big tent for him in a Namira place. And he didn't stop on the Muzdalifah or Mashar al-Haram, and he continued toward Namira, and he gave a comprehensive and very important khutbah al-Wada', the farewell khutbah. And he spent the day in Arafah until the sunset, and after sunset he left to Muzdalifah, prayed Maghrib 3 rak'ah and Isha 2 rak'ah with how many adhan? 1 adhan and 2 iqam. And he slept all the day, all the night without night prayer, and wake in the morning, prayed the Fajr, the first time of the Fajr, when it become just start the Fajr. And then he went to Al-Mash'ar al-Haram, the Muzdalifah, which is the same place. There is a big masjid now there, and he faced the Qibla and started dua and takbir and tahleel, and wait until the light start of the day. Then he moved before the sunrise. Toward the Jama'ah, to Mina place. In Mina, as you can see in the slides, like a wall, a rock, a big rock. In the first day, which is Yawm al-Nahri, the day of sacrifice, or the slaughter of the day, he's throwing 7 stones to the grid of the big rock. And then he went to the place of slaughter, like the place where they slaughter the animal. And he slaughtered by himself 63 camels, 6 by his hand. And then he gave to Ali, his cousin, Ali ibn Abi Talib, the rest of 100, because he brings with him 100 animals. He slaughtered himself 63 and give the rest of 37 to Ali radiallahu anhu. And then he takes some pieces from each animal and cooked in the water and make maraq, like a soup, and eat and drink and eat this soup. And then he shaved his hair, and then he went back to Mecca to do the tawaf al-ifada, the compulsory tawaf. I will stop on this just to don't make confusion of you and re-summarize what we mentioned. We mentioned that Prophet Muhammad spent how many years before he did Hajj? 9 years. And how many Umrah he did in his life? 4. And how many Hajj he did? 1. And on the 10th of Hijrah, he called the people, he sent Ali ibn Abi Talib to call the people to the Hajj. And the Sahaba came to the Medina, many Sahabas was there. And everyone wanted to see Hajj of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he started his ihram from a place called Dhul Hulayfa, and there is a masjid there. What is the name of the masjid? The tree masjid, excellent. Masjid al-Shadara. He prayed 2 rak'at there, and then his wife Aisha put a perfume, so she said you can see the glitter of the perfume or the fragrance in his hair. And then he starts the ihram, and he rides, what is the name of the female camel of Prophet Muhammad? Al-Qaswa. And then he went to Mecca. He traveled from Medina on the 25th of Dhul-Qa'dah, and he arrived Mecca on the 4th of Dhul-Hijjah. And then he took ghusl before he entered the Kaaba, the Mecca, and it's the sunnah to have a shower to enter Mecca. And then he starts the tawaf. And we mentioned that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ brings with him how many animals? 100. And he doing which type of Hajj? Qiran or Tamattu' or Ifrad? Tamattu', that means that he breaks his Umrah or breaks his Ihram after Umrah. He didn't do that. He do Qiran. He combined Hajj and Umrah in one journey, but without breaking the Ihram. And he made the Tawaf 7 times, and then he prayed behind the Maqam 2 rak'ah, which surah he recited twice, Kafirun, in the 2 rak'ah. And then what he did, he drank a water of Zamzam until he full, and then he went to Safa, start from Safa to Marwa, this one, and there is a place in the green line now, you need to run in this, but not for sisters, and then finish the sa'i, and then he didn't break his ihram because he is doing qiran. And then he wait until the 8th of the Hijjah, and where he went to Mina on the 8th, which is called Yawm al-Tarwiyah, or the watering day. And he prayed there, Dhuhr, how many rak'ah? 2. Asr, Maghrib, 3. Isha, 2. And he slept. And the morning he prayed, the morning of the Eid, of the 9th of the Hijjah, Yawm Arafah, he prayed Fajr there, and quickly he moved, and he asked the Sahaba to build for him a qubba, or a tent in a namira. And the Sahaba was expected that he would stop in al-Mash'ar al-Haram, but he didn't. Why? To opposite the mushrikeen who used to do that in the ignorance period. And then once he entered the Namira, he did the Khutbatul Wada', a comprehensive and a very important khutbah. And then he stayed in Arafah until when the sun set. And then he moved he riding his camel. Who was behind him? Usama ibn Zayd. From Mecca, from Arafah to Muzdalifah, and he slept the night, or spent the night there, prayed Maghrib, how many rak'ah? 3, and Isha 2, and 1 adhan and 2 iqamah. And then he wake up in the morning, which is the 10th of Eid, or 10th of the Hijjah, Yawm al-Eid, and he prayed Fajr on the first time of the Fajr, and then moved to al-Mash'ar al-Haram, stand facing the Qibla, making dua, say takbir, tahleel, but he left it before the sun rise, and then he went to Mina again, through the 7 stones, the great rock, and then he went to the place of slaughter animal, and he slaughtered how many camels? 63, and who did the rest of 100? Ali ibn Abi Talib, 37, and then he collects this meat in one bottle and cook it and eat it, and then he shaved his hair, and then went back to Kaaba to do the tawaf. This will be the next, inshallah, lecture. What he did in this day, and what he did in the 11th and the 12th and the 13th of the Hijjah, and what he did before he left, or before he finished his Umrah, and what happened to Sayyidah Aisha. She asked him to do Umrah because she didn't do Umrah at the beginning, because she has his cycle. But we know what happened and how Prophet explained to her how she can do Umrah after Hajj. We said that inshallah next lesson inshallah. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله لكم سبحانك وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك.